G'day guys and girls, welcome back to another video and welcome back to Operation Stage 2. This is the last of the necessary hardware that I need to fit now, and it's the intercooler. You've probably seen by the description already, I've got the R-Sport 450 Pro, so it's a full height intercooler that's stepped. We'll have a closer look at that a bit later. I've also got the Voodoo boost pipes, which are really nice as well, so we've got to get them on, but first got to get the headlights out and get the front bumper off. Okay, so we're going to start at the top. We've got a T30 Torx bit and another one here, so each headlight's got two, and then there's two more T30s here and here. The other thing that you need to do is get a Phillips head. You've got these little, they're screws but they screw into plugs. Once you unscrew them, you might need to get a flat blade underneath just to put a bit of tension on it, but once you remove the screw you can actually remove the plug. So I'll keep going on that and we'll come back to the next step. Now, removing your headlight is as easy as just wiggling it up and pulling it out. Don't forget to disconnect the wiring loom and then reach underneath and disconnect your fog lights. So grab it underneath and up here. Just pop it out. And then your wiring loom is just here. A bit hard with one hand, but get your headlight out. And then there's no point because you're not going to be able to see. But you reach down in here, find the plug for your fog lights and just disconnect them. Next, you've got three of these 10mm just inside the guard. Don't worry about the ones underneath, just the three on top. There's one here, one in the middle, and one right down the end. Can be a 10mm spanner, socket, whatever you can get in there. So with your 10mm, it's probably best to get a half decent extension. That's probably about a, I don't know, not a real long one, but anyway, that's really good for the middle and the very bottom bolt. You can actually get in there and undo them. So we'll do that on both sides. Another handy little tip: keeping all my bolts in Ziploc bags. That one's for the headlight and the top of the bumper, so I'm going to label them just so that nothing goes missing. Something else I just found way easier, and this was a tip from Mitch: get yourself a nice long magnet, flexible one, and as you're actually unscrewing it, have that stuck on the thread. That way you're not going to drop any and lose them. I love that tip. So next, come down inside your wheel well. That was a T30 Torx, and the one just up here above it is also a T30 Torx, and I also believe that that one down in there needs to come out too. That's a T30 Torx as well. With these first two, I used a ratchet spanner. It just happened to be a 10mm with the T30 Torx bit, but for this one hiding way down in there, I'm probably going to use the socket just to get a bit of extra reach. Then obviously we'll do the same on the other side. Coming down under the car now, you've got a clip up here. This, you just get a little flathead screwdriver in there and gently pry it down. Kill them, Aussie. Nope. And there's one here as well. So I've already got that one out. I'll get in an easier position to show you what they are, but once you pull the center part out, you should be able to wriggle the outer part free as well. These are the little clips that we were just looking at. Basically, you've got a little notch. Get your flathead screwdriver inside that little notch, pry it up a little bit, and then work your way around, and then that center part will pull out, and then you can pull out the actual retaining clip itself. So this is our progress. I've got two clips off on each side underneath the bumper. Just a little tip, just so that the bumper didn't fall on my head, I did put one of these top bolts back in, and it's interesting to note that although that's a T30 and the ones for the headlights are T30, they're actually a different thread, so only one of the style that you pull out will actually screw back into here. So it's actually got quite a wide thread on it, whereas the ones on the headlights have got a very narrow close thread. So I'm going to take this one out, and I think it's ready to come off. This is also a T30 Torx. Good idea to remove that one too, and that way that whole side comes free. We'll do the same on the other side. So now it should be as easy as lifting your front bumper off and just pulling it forward. And there you go. Alright, now we have access to everything. We've got access to this clamp, we've got access to the intercooler. This needs to come off. Got access to this little arsehole. This has been bugging me since the day I picked it up. You're not even going to see it anyway with the new intercooler, but that bastard's off. Again, going to have access here to the cold side pipes, and we're going to replace all that. Might be a little bit hard filming in there. I'll try and get some light in, but yeah, time to start taking this off and putting a new one back on. Okay, so I'm just winging it from here. These are an 8mm. I'm going to take that off. This may or may not need to be cut off. I'm not going to be all that happy if it needs to be cut off, but if it does, it does. We've got some more of these Phillips head clips in here, up here, and this one is another pry. You pull it out with a flathead screwdriver and then pull that out, and then this should be able to come off once we've done both sides. I've just removed these 3 8mm bolts, one there, one in the middle, and one over here. That's going to help release the under tray to give access to getting the intercooler off and getting this off as well. Last piece to getting the under tray off are these clips. They sit just over in here. So you've just got to put a little bit of pressure outwards and they will slide off. So this tray had stumped me just a little bit. I'd undone the center and the 2 sides. What it is, you've got 2 little clips that just sit up in there underneath, and you've just got to push down. You'll hear a crack and they'll pop out, and then you can remove that. Now I've already done the boost pipes off the intercooler. They were a 7mm socket, and it just took a bit of wriggling to get that off. And now the next part to get the intercooler off are just these 2 little bolts up in here, which look like a 7 or an 8. So these bolts here are an 8mm. I've plugged the hose back in because it's very loose as soon as you undo them. I'm going to leave that one in. I'm going to go and undo the other side, and then I'll be able to pull it out without it falling on my head. So here's how the intercooler came packaged from OC Motorsport. We got some stickers. The bracket was buried in the noodles here, nice and packed. Some mounting bolts, and the intercooler. So had layers of polystyrene, had these polystyrene noodles all around it. This was sent on a Monday in the UK, so Monday evening our time, and it was at my door Thursday afternoon, which was pretty awesome. And there it is, the R Sport 450 Pro from PumaSpeed. Actually bought it from OC Motorsport. Again, they were excellent customer service. I was really happy with that. Come around. It's a stepped intercooler, full height compared to that. So this bit down the bottom here is much thicker than that, and then that's probably a similar thickness up the top. and you just got way more surface area to cool the charged air. So pretty stoked with it. Just hope it fits up nice and easy. I haven't seen any videos of the R Sport really being fitted, but you've got your lower mounting points, which is cool. You've got this bracket up top, help keep it sturdy. Everything looks like it should be a pretty direct replacement, which I like. Alright, there's the back of the turbo. This is a bit awkward, but that hose clamp right there, it's a 7mm, that's what I need to get off to start taking the boost pipes off. Turbo looks in really good nick actually. Nice. So after undoing your charge pipe from the turbo with the 7mm with the hose clamp, these are a 13mm bolt. I haven't undone them all the way, just enough to get a bit of wiggle room, and then I yanked down on this and pulled the pipe off the turbo. This one for the cold side pipe is also a 13mm, so you may as well do that while you're here too. Okay, just remember you're going to reuse this bolt and these two bolts, so keep them handy. But you've actually got a map sensor, I think it's a map sensor, I'm not sure what it's called, that you need to unclip here. It's literally, I don't know, probably can't see, but there's just a little push tab on that side, and you push it down and wriggle it free. I'll do it with two hands. And then a bit further up there is, if I can find it, just where my finger is, there's like a vacuum line as well, and the clip on that is a little red tab. It's the same clip as what is on the line that goes onto your intake pipe. So you just push the two sides up and that'll release. With your vacuum line removed, just, you can't really see, but down in there, you are moving on to, let me set up my amazing lighting. This hose clamp just here near my finger, and that's a 7mm. Alright, I've been going for hours now, run into a bit of a snag. I've contacted AET to ask about fitment of these, but for now I'm going to put the OE pipes back on. It seems every single bend, no matter how far you put it or where you orient it on the pipe work and the intercooler and whatnot, they all seem to pinch, so they all end up like that, or like that. And this one on this side, I'm just taking the cold side off now, fouled really hard up against that. No matter how I adjust this with the bracket, yeah, there we go, we're back on. So the intercooler fits up nicely. I've just got to tighten up the brackets here and here. But yeah, I've used the standard charge pipes, the boost pipes. They've fit up nicely, as you'd expect, you know. They fit everywhere. Fit straight up to the intercooler as well with no kinks. So that's pretty well thought out by PumaSpeed, making it the same as what the standard orientation is. Now just got to fix up those, reattach the under tray, the bumper, etc., and go for a drive. And we're starting to look like a car again. There were two 8mm either side on the bracing that stuck up that I thought might have needed to have been cut out, but it all fits up nicely. And then you had your three 8mm bolts under there, one in the middle and on the other side. So then when you're at that point, you can dummy fit your bumper up. What I've done is I've got it to a point where I can put this T30 Torx screw in. That's the one with the long thread, just to secure it. And now I can do all the fine adjustments. Alright, so it's the next day. I've got the intercooler on, that fit up nicely. Fit up to the lower mountain points nicely. The bracket also fit. I'll show you where that fits in a minute. You can't see it very well, it's all black, that's how I like it. So the boost pipes aren't on. I'm running the standard boost pipe still. I'm not going to get into that. So what I've done is I've come for a couple of hour drive out here and basically wanted to see if it runs okay, if there's any boost leaks or anything like that. I don't have any codes, the car's driving fine. So I'm going to get the mount tune handset out, and further up is 100 zone. I'm just going to give it a hit in third up to 100, and hopefully the boost still peaks at around 11 psi on the mount tune handset. It reads boost a bit differently to your mechanical gauges, so as long as it's around there we should be right. Just very quickly, I don't even know if you can see it in there on this, but it is in there. Fits really good. It's full height, so it goes all the way up to around here in the grill. Should be good at keeping the charge temps down on track. That's what it's for. When you've got the front bumper off, I've actually kept the shroud that goes over the top like that, so that's still channeling air in, and it's this bolt here that you removed, and that is where the bracket that goes to the top of the intercooler sits, which is the bracket with the two shiny bolts just in there, if you can see them. Alright, let's go for a drive with the mount tune handset hooked up and make sure that the boost pressures are running as they should. Okay, so I was calling it boost pressure, it's actually map pressure, 10.51. So I did my runs, the GoPro ran out of battery before I did, but it might be a factor that that was actually 1,000 meters above sea level. So the last time when I got 11.4, I think it was, that was a while ago now, and that was much closer to sea level. It was still elevated a little bit, but that probably plays a factor. Either that or the intercooler's working better. I'm not all that worried about it anyway. I don't have any engine codes, so we can go through that. I don't have anything, read codes. There's nothing, so I'm confident that there's no boost leaks. I'm confident that it's running as it should. And yeah, it's still made, no, it's reset now, but still made 10.5, so happy with that. Alright, that brings us to the end of another one. Thanks for watching Operation Stage 2, and if you followed it all the way through, thank you very much. I did have something special planned about the Stage 2 remaps, but my laptop is shit a brick, so hopefully that all that footage can be recovered, because a lot of time and effort went into that. But the intercooler's on, happy with how it's going, no leaks, nice one. Thanks for watching, guys.